Okay, this is a left-handed hickory board bow that I'm making for a mutual friend of Jack Monty and mine. I have a nice piece of rawhide from Clay Hayes that's soaking. Soaking is going to soak for an hour. Here's the left-handed riser. Okay, he's a lefty. He wants a 30-pound bow. You know, as we get older, we like lighter weight bows. He wants a 30-pound bow just to mess around, the mess around bow. So this will be his mess around bow. Yeah, let me see if I'm even holding it right there as a lefty, okay? But it feels good. I'm making it safe. He's got a 29-inch draw. I'm making it 70 inches long. Once we rawhide back it, I'm gonna cut it, sand it, and then tiller it to 30 pounds for him. Okay, so we'll show you as it progresses. Yeah, I had a tillering string that'll work for this bow that I'm making. And I made a nice black and brown X99 tapered Flemish twist string that will fit this when the time comes. I have the rawhide backing soaking for an hour. And I put a clamp on it, usually just to keep it down under the water. And on this, I had sanded it. I had sanded some of the rough spots off the back of this here. Or actually, I guess you would call it the belly. It's the part that faces the bow. And one side is usually a little thicker than the other side. Sometimes not. Sometimes you can't tell. This seems like to be the lighter side. And I have Type On 3 glue. And because this board bow is a little dry, what we do is we put some on here. And we're going to try not to make too much of a mess. We're going to allow the wood to drink up some of this. Okay. And we're going to go back and forth, and we may even add a little water on it. Okay. Some people say they don't go down to the tips with the rawhide, right? But it just don't look right. It don't look right. And if they say, oh, well, it slows it up, listen. I'm telling you, not everything's about speed. Sometimes you want to make sure you got a nice, sturdy, stable bow. And I did a little test. I had a bow that was 40 pounds with thinner limbs. And it had the same bow, same length, with thicker limbs. In other words, the taper at the end. I had 18-inch taper and like a 10-inch taper. And I gotta be honest, the wider limbs seem to, when it came to shooting trajectory, the wider limbs seem to transfer more energy to the heavier arrow. And as far as speeds, maybe the thinner limbs showed maybe a foot or so. It was hardly anything, like 1 foot per second faster. All right, but I did notice that the wider limbs retain more of the transfer of the energy and didn't have such a tragic drop. Okay, so here we go. Sorry this is taking so long, but it's real time. It is what it is. Got some paper towels here. All right. People stretch the hell out of these things here. You know, stretch them, stretch them, stretch them. Then you wind up stretching them wider again. Okay, I'm going to try and determine which side is the thinner and which side is the thicker side. Okay. I believe this is the thicker side. Okay, I had to get my scissor ready so I can trim the rawhide. Dip my fingers in a little water, a little glue, and making sure that it's getting in this wood here nice. All right, we're getting ready for the rawhide. You can see the wood. The reason I'm showing you this is, look, you can see down here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but down here, these board bows, they drink up some liquid, you know, they're kiln dried. So there we go. Now we're going to take some glue and we're going to put it on this rawhide. Okay, I believe I have the thin end. And one side looks like it's finished very well, and the other side has the fibers that we sanded. Okay. So just so you know, the side that with the fibers that we sanded, made as smooth as we can, cleaned it up as best as we can. Okay, that's the side that'll be going down on what we call the back of the bow. The back of the bow is away from you. The belly of the bow faces your belly. Okay? I'm going to lay this down like this. And what I like to do is have this overlap at some point in the riser where the handle is, and we could sand it, get it kind of flush. Okay, yeah, I have a squeegee here, but actually you could use a plastic putty knife from one of the hardware stores, and all we're doing, since this is a flat back bow, we're just sliding it along. Okay, and then we're going to use our hand and just make sure that it's laying flush. Okay, now we're going to go back to putting a little glue. I wet my fingertips. Oh, my pinky, that's so I could turn on and off the camera without getting any glue on it. All right, so anyway, here we go. And it does, even this end here has drank up quite a bit of glue, which is good. You're getting glue in the fibers, it's making it a little stronger. Now here we go. Paper towel. Okay. I don't stretch it like crazy. Like some guys, I want to stretch it like crazy. I can tell this side, I can tell already is the thick side. Okay, now you gotta look and see which side's the good side, which side's the side that goes on the back, okay? You gotta be sure of it when you put it down. Okay? This is how it's gonna go. Okay, so this is the thicker side, and now we're going to put glue on this. It's a little messy. Make sure you got cardboard. Make sure you got cardboard on the floor, cardboard where it overhangs. You know, some of us don't have the convenience of a free workshop, you know, open area to do it. You may be doing this in an apartment, maybe. Okay, so now we're going to lay this down here. Okay, anything above the string grooves is for like decoration, okay? Just to be clear, anything above the string grooves, now we're going to decide where I want to put this. I think I'll put it a little higher. Okay, just like that. And then this we're going to overlap a little bit, like a little more than 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Now we've got the squeegee again. See the squeegee? Look at that, okay? Got plenty of paper towels here. Okay, we're going to take a paper towel. Going to wipe this excess off. We're going to go down like this. I do not wrap these. Okay, I don't wrap it. Anytime you wrap this stuff, you get those horrible lines from whatever you're wrapping it with. And it don't look nice at all. It looks terrible. Okay? So what I do is, I lay it down like this. I'm wiping the glue off the edges here now, right? Because you don't want that big run or big chunks of glue that you're going to have to sand off later, right? Okay, we're going to take this, clean it up, the squeegee, clean it up a little bit. Hold it. Go down one more time, make sure what we're doing as we're going down, we're pulling it snug. Okay. Now I use my hand. Okay. And what happens when it dries, okay? This dries almost like, I would say, like almost like a potato chip, okay? Got that? Just like a potato chip. So all you do is you take a razor knife the next day and you trim it. And it's important that you wipe the glue off the edges. It's less sanding, it's less work. If you can clean it up a little bit now, saves you a lot of trouble later. Okay. Gonna lift it up and look a little here. Gonna look a little, lift it up and look a little over here. Okay. One more time. I got a little damp paper towel, a little wet paper towel here. Okay. Because I cleaned the glue on the edges, right? Okay, now what we're going to do is, it's that simple. Pick it up, we'll look at it. See if there's any real big glue drop that I got to wipe a little bit. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm going to carefully flip it around. And we're going to look at this side. Looks good. Everything looks good, okay? Then I'm going to just move it inside. Put it on the table. I have cardboard on the table inside. I'm just going to gently touch with my fingers, make sure it's all down. And I'll show you trimming it the next day. Okay, while the one bow is cooking, this is my hickory board bow, my left-handed hickory board bow that I made the other day that I rawhide backed. And I just want to show you quick, we got ourselves a box cutter. And all we're going to do is we slide the blade down flat and kind of into it a little bit. We try not to lift any grains, so we have a sharp blade and go nice and slow. And if they're ever caught, you go back the other way. Okay, like that. See how nice? And look how nice of a clean edge you get, okay? And then once we get this trimmed, we're gonna sand it nice and round. And the next step will be tomorrow probably. We'll be tillering this bow. Save your empty coal bags for after the coals go out the next day, you can clean up. And also, when I was trimming this rawhide backing, I trimmed it so the shavings would land on a chair and swept them off of the chair into the bag. So you save that for a trash bag. And I just want to show you how nice. This is just rough trimmed. I just slided it along. It's got a little trimming to go and sanding. But look how nice this rawhide backing is. Okay, it's not wrapped. It's just laid on the bow, squeegeed. And my hand is used to like just smooth it down too after the squeegee to make sure it's shaping all the contours so there's no lines and it comes out great. And just so you know, I've done this a few times and I'm new to this bow making stuff since December. But if you ever had, for any reason, wrapped or unwrapped or whatever, you ever had some of this like lift up, you just wet it again, let it get, you know, just actually put a little water on it, get it wet, you know, peel it up, or take a toothpick and put more Type on 3 right under it, smooth it down, and you could put like a clip, like, you know, like a potato chip bag clip or something on there just to hold it down, and wait another day and you're good to go. But usually don't happen. I had it happen like once or twice where it just needed to be a little wet to be manipulated. A little glue, clamped it, and the bow's fine. I'm shooting that bow today, it's fine. So look, see? You know, you take the razor knife, you cut down, follow the profiles, you do your best you can around these edges because it's all gonna be sanded nice. Okay, so anyway, this is a 70-inch board bow, and we're gonna try and tiller it nice for a 29 to 30-inch draw at 30 pounds only. Okay, well, we got this bow cooking behind me. Let's see what grit we got here today. We got some 150 grit, and we're gonna sand up this rawhide, take our time, sand it up, and round the edges. It's gonna be nice and round and ready to go. So when we start to till it. And like the bow, I got plenty of time to cook it. I got plenty of time to sand this, so it's gonna come out good. Okay, while I'm cooking that Hickory self bow for Bobby, I got this rawhide back Hickory bow for Paul, and I'm gonna start tillering it by hand. Okay. So far, it's really not that bad, okay? I'm going to do a little better job of marking the fade outs, but we got a fairly good bend. I expect at this point in time for these ends to be a little bit stiff at this point in time. And we're only going to make a 30-pound bow. So I'm going to tighten up the string, mark where the fade outs are, recheck it, and then take some material off. Okay, this is an even limb design. The rise is right in the middle. So I marked a line evenly where the fade out is. And we're going to use that line as an indication of the curves that we're achieving. We're doing this micro tillering. Okay, look at that bend so far. So far, that bend is pretty nice. Obviously a little bit more on the ends, but still it's fairly nice. I shortened the string up. I don't like using a long string. I like using a short, long string to tiller it at first. Okay, the only thing we're going to see now is which one's bending a little more. It's 1 inch on this. Pretty incredible. It's 1 inch and 1 inch, and they're bending very similar. All right, this was a board that I had shaped, and I had meticulously made of the same thickness, rounded the edges, and I had it saved, put aside, and I made this handle for a left-handed friend, glued it on, and I'm really happy with so far how this is coming together tiller-wise. So far there's nothing needed for me to do. And don't worry about this staying like this too long, because it's a long string and it's a very little bit of a flex. Okay? Very little flex, hardly anything. Okay? This 70-inch tip to tip, 68-inch groove to groove is only going to be a 30-pound bow. We're going to just exercise these limbs, and we're going to get it used to bending a little bit, and we're not going to go down too far. Okay, everything is looking pretty good. I don't see no real hinge points or anything yet, and we're down to 20 inches. Since we have time, I'm going to remove some material with the card scraper. A little on the edges, and then down the middle, back and forth, edge a little bit, turn it if you have to. Okay, middle. Okay. Got a lot to take off. This is going to be a long process. A little on the edges. And remember, whenever we take material off, okay, the edges or the middle, we have to sand the edges round. Okay? Okay, I removed a lot of material, sanded, rounded, took some off of the ends because I know those ends will have to be flexed at some point, so I took a little off. And what we're doing now is going to just see the pounds. If we get it down to that 20-inch mark, that means that I can put a string on it. But we're going to exercise it a little bit. Well, let me kick this leg over a little bit here. Keep in mind this is on a little bit of an angle, but you've got to just look at it. Okay, at 18 inches, I have 32 pounds. 18 inches, 32 pounds. So, okay, at 65 years old, I'm a big advocate of working smarter, not harder. And I ran in the house because I had quite a bit to remove. And I put this, I have a worn belt on my belt sander. And I gently removed a couple of strokes. I removed some material starting from the center out and the center out on this one. We're going to get it to flex. Hopefully soon we'll be able to get the string for the brace height on it. Okay. Okay. Now that I took off material and rounded the edges, let's see how it's bending. We're going to get it down to that 20-inch mark, see how many pounds it is. Okay, that's 20 inches, it's 34 pounds. We're going for about a 30 pound at the 29 inch, so we got a lot of material to take off. It's looking good. We'll probably take a little bit off the outer limbs, a little bit more. And I think I'm going to mark them with the pencil. Okay, I'm going to check it one more time. Okay, a little off the outer edge over here, especially the bottom again. All right, we're going to reduce some weight. Okay, we have the string on with a shorter brace height. Didn't twist it up yet. It's 4.5, okay? We're going to go for probably 6 3/4 when we're done. But from this mark here by the fade out, it is 5 7/8. Roughly 5 7/8. It's pretty close. We're going to exercise this a little, and I can tell it's more than 30 pounds now. I'm going to put it on the pulley tillering system, and we're going to just check the pounds. Okay, now that we have the string on with a short brace height, we're just going to work the limbs a little and see what pounds we come up to. Look how it bends. We're looking at how it bends. The outer limbs can always be worked a little more. 20-inch straw, we're at 32 pounds. So we're going to work it a little bit, and then we're going to remove material. Okay, check with a straight edge that both sides look like they're bending pretty good. But I did take off some material for weight, so we're going to exercise it and see what we got. Nice bending, right? What do we got? Getting there. An actual 25-inch draw. We got 33 pounds. And it looks like we need some material taken off of here. Okay. And let me see, we really got to be careful now because we're almost at that mark, right? We're at 27 now. Okay, in between me sanding, I round the edges and I use 100 grit sandpaper. And now we're at the point where we want to take off just a little material at a time, and I like the cabinet scraper for this. Okay. There we go. This is 150. This happens to be 150 grit, but it'll... Okay, now that I scraped it and sanded it, I'm going to just check it again. Okay, right here, to the fade out, it's on the outside of the 7 1/4 mark. And down here, it's right on line with the 7 1/4 mark for the bottom limb. And that's fine, and we're going to go see what we got. Okay, we're at the point where the tiller is perfectly even. Everything should be bending the same. We got to exercise it. Okay. We got to get it to 29, and this is 29, and it's still a little heavy. Okay, that's 29. We got to take a little bit of weight off, and we're looking where we can do that from. Maybe the outer limb over there, maybe the outer limb over here. Okay, a lot of work went into this tillering it, and once again I have it even as I'm trying to reduce the weight and try to get around the 30-pound range at 29 inches. Okay, at 29 inches, we got 34 pounds. Okay. Okay, a lot of work went into this. It's been hard, tillering it back and forth because I want to get as close as to that 30 as I can, but I don't want to go over. And I think I got it as close, I think it's like 32 pounds. Let's see. Okay, it's 32 pounds at the actual 29, but we have a little indent here, so it'll be closer, I would say, to 31. So this is it. It's done. I got to serve it, and you know, I'll probably shoot a few arrows through it, and then recheck it. And if everything's good, I'm going to stain it polyurethane, and it's for a friend, a mutual friend of Jack Monty and myself. And days of work went into this. And I chose the board bow with the rawhide backing. It's kind of bulletproof, and it's going to shoot fairly well. And if somebody pulled it back with a little bit of a longer draw length, and there ain't too many guys with a longer draw length, chances are it'll survive. So that's it. That's it. This is the Hickory rawhide back board bow. That's at 32 at 29. And like I said, just a little more shooting. I may have to do a little fine sanding for the tiller. It's it. It's done. So look at my other videos on Bambo Joe. I worked really hard these past few days. This is a Hickory rawhide back bow that was a board bow made, and I shaped the handle. It's for a friend that's a lefty, only pulls back, he only wants to pull back 30 pounds, and it's around 32 now. And the deal is I'm going to serve it, and I'll probably shoot a few arrows through it, and then I'll check the tiller again. And if there's got to be, if it's a little off, I may sand it. I'll just sand it to finish it, and recheck the tiller, you know, sanding. But it's bending really nice, and this goes back to his 29 inches. So I think it came out really good, really awesome. It's going to hold up. And the thing is, if somebody, he's 29, if one of his friends with these long draw lengths pull it back to 30, it should be okay. Shouldn't break. Now over here, what we have over here is our friend Bobby, a mutual friend. This is my Jack Monty's neighbor, gave us all that hickory wood that we went through, by the way. We went through all the stage. They're labeled with names of people to make the bows out of. But here's Bobby's bow out of his tree. And look at the back set. Okay, look at the back set on this, right? From the back set jig, from fire hardening. Okay, let me show you close. Okay, and he's not a hunter. He's just going to use this for target, and anything around the 40-pound weight is going to be good for him. So we're going to let it go in the house, and going to let the moisture seek its level, so to speak. And then at some point we're going to shape the fade outs a little bit before I start tillering it, and put string grooves in. And we're going to try and get it down to like a manageable 45-pound weight. He's got a 31-inch draw. This guy's got long arms, so we got to get this to 31 inches and a lower weight for target shooting. So this will be a little bit of work too, and careful tillering to get it to that point. Hopefully it works out, and no lips or damages. All right, more to come. Busy few days.